All right, this is the Red Pill Dispensary. We're having a call-in show. I'm having a little bit of trouble with my camera, which is weird. I don't really understand that. Look, it's look at for camera. There's nothing there. What's up with that? What is up with that? Anyways, all right. So we'll wait for people to start getting in here. Hopefully notifications went out. Um, I took a little bit of time off. It was needed, and once people start coming in here, we'll maybe discuss some of that. So let's see. Let's see. What's this? What's this? Yeah, where's the camera? What's up with this? Oh, this is all from my phone. Oh, maybe that's why. Because I plugged in my phone. Because that's the only thing that's changed. So let me try this again. Oh, hey, all right. Now we're in business. So for some reason, when I plugged in my phone, it made the camera go away. Okay, good, 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 good. Although it's very pixelated, huh? Look at that. Oh, I know why. So while we're waiting for people to get in here, I'll just let me just do a couple things. I got the if I was testing out something for a green screen. That's gonna be the next thing I get is a green screen. So let me get rid of that. That's why it was all pixelated. How you guys doing? Red Pill Dispensary. All right, so we got Lori M. How you doing? Um, Running errands, but you're listening. Well, it's a perfect show for that. There's not much visual stimulation that you need outside of myself taking calls. Of course, depending on what topic the caller may be talking about, I'll pull that up and share screen, and just to legitimize whatever they may be talking about. And I thought this was a good way to kind of get back into things. Um, the where we left off. I mean, if you look at some of the last shows I did, ooh, were we on? I mean, especially like the coronavirus. I left that as like my top show, like my featured show. It's somewhere in there, 1,000 views. But I'm surprised there's not more because it was like January 27th, and yet we had said things in that show because I had good sources that are still coming out to this day. It's still news to people. They're like learning it now. Whereas we had said it January 27th. I mean, there's, so 30 days. That is, today's the, yeah. Kidding me? That's, what's it called? That's 22 days ago. So that's pretty crazy. Um, so let me, sure, Bear, how you doing? Good to see you. Like the shirt? Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. I got like a million of them. Um, so I am Ainsley. Looking forward to this. Me too. Me too. Get a green $4 piece of material. You're right, Sure Bear. I was actually talking to someone about it, and they said, "Listen, people go all out. They buy these green screens for like a lot of money. It's a green screen." I was like, "Yeah, I know. We use this at the radio station. We used to use this like cheap piece of green little like whatever. It does the job. I mean, that's the whole idea. It's the green screen. People spend so much money on that stuff. It won't be too much. I'm not gonna get like a piece of like construction paper, but yeah, essentially I could. I mean, that's just the way it works. So, um, so before we get to the calls, and this isn't gonna take long, I just want to say a couple things. First of all, I've been thinking about all of you. A lot of you guys have reached out. A lot of the people here in this room even. And I just want to thank each and every one of you for reaching out. I'm not going to get into personal stuff, just craziest time. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Um, but, these type of things happen in life. With that said, also, I wanted to mention somebody. I want to talk about someone, Snafu Snaps. Now, I would need notebooks of lies that he said and disgusting things he's done. Yet, I prayed for him last night, and I prayed for him pretty hard. you know, it's easy to pray and forgive. You don't forgive your friends, you know. It's the people who do you wrong. It's the people who lie on you. It's the people who do disgusting things and talk and put the people you love in jeopardy. Well, I prayed for him. And, you know, I've been hinting at it for a while, but I got wind that he's chronically ill. I never let him use that as an excuse for his actions. But I forgive him. And I just want Snafu Snaps to know that. I forgive you, um, and get better, huh? And we've all been there. We've all been depressed. I've been depressed. Um, if I was chronically ill on top of it, I don't even know. So I admire your strength. I'm praying for you, and you know, you pray for the people who you've been enemies with, not friends, of course. And I've honestly forgiven him. Honestly, I wouldn't be able to say it because there's too many things that were done and said, and in a very bad taste for me to actually say something like this. But I honestly do forgive him. So with that said, I just want to start on that note. So, anyways, with that said, the phone lines are open. Red Pill Dispensary, and I'm gonna put the phone number right here in chat. I know you guys are surprised right now. You guys are like, "What the hell is this? The same guy? Did someone steal his face?" But it's important as a Christian, as a human. It's important. Um, and you know, I know what his health is right now, so I think it's just the right thing. The first call usually takes a while, as always. I don't know what that is, um, but usually the first call takes a while to come in, and then all of a sudden calls start rolling in. Then again, I've been off the air. I don't know. Will that many people tune in? I mean, they outside of like a quick little post I put, like a post saying that I'm gonna go live and do a call-in show. And I did a what's it called? I did a poll to see if I should do a call-in show or like a regular show, and it was overwhelming. I think it was like 9-0 in 1 hour. 9-0. 9 people said call-in show. Well, I'm taking calls. I'm handing the reins off to you guys. Um, Whatever you guys want to talk about, let's do it. Um, I know you guys like calling shows, so I figured anybody who wants to call, the phone number is right there. If you don't have it, just ask. Um, so while we wait on the first call, I don't want to get there, so I'll pull up something that I thought was interesting. Alright, what was it called? Yeah. Now, last time I played this, alright, let me check in on you guys. Last time I played this, yes. So, yeah, thank you, Lori. And, no, I was just setting something up. So, phone line's open, guys. I know the first call always takes a while, and then all of a sudden they start rolling in. But, I had done this. I had done something in a show not too long ago on iPet Goat 2. And if you guys want, I was going to play that because there's a few things that stuck out to me. I'm not going to yell them out like I did in the middle of it because I couldn't even, last time I noticed that I couldn't even hear. You guys couldn't even hear me anyway. So, please, if it while it's on, please feel free to call. Please. So share screen. All right. So yeah, call even if it's in the middle of the video. I know that the first call is always, the toughest. All right, so we'll go like this. Now you tell me. I want people to write in chat what they see.
Xfinity Mobile lets you design your own data. Share data between lines, mix in lines of unlimited, and switch it up at any time. Saving you up to $400 a year when you...
All right, here we go. 666 on his forehead. Hello? Hello? Red pill. Hey, how you doing? Nice, nice. Alright, so you see the video up right now?
That music in the background kind of loud. I can barely hear you. Over it.
Yeah, no, I paused it. So, alright, so, good. I just didn't know how long it would take to get a call, so I was gonna. You ever see that? iPet Goat too?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I just figured. But I saw a few things that related to stuff this past week. That's why I felt that. All right. So this is the Red Pill, and we are here with
Hey, my name is Charles. How you doing, everybody?
Troy. Is it?
No, Charles. Charlie.
Charlie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So what did you have in your mind?
Wow, man, this stuff just goes on and on, doesn't it? This iPad goes, and it just goes on, doesn't it?
Yeah, there might be a little bit of a delay, but oh, you
No,
mean as far as it
no.
being relevant throughout the
Yeah,
years?
relevant.
Oh,
You,
it's
you see
amazing.
it every day. Every
It's
day, like,
amazing how it just like just when I think it's like okay, it basically seems like everything's accounted for, and then something will happen that's so clearly referred to in that short video. It's amazing.
yeah, yeah, it's a trip. And
Yeah.
sometimes it takes, see, you guys are pretty good at deciphering that stuff. It takes me a while to look at it, you know.
Yeah, but that's we share ideas, and I mean, really, in the end, I mean, think about how many YouTube shows there are. Not that many people really get it right in the end. I have a tendency of instead of just watching what's new, I like to go back and like watch certain YouTubers and watch their old videos. And they sound crazy. It's like they're making all these crazy predictions, and that's gonna happen. I mean, when you're not being informed by the media, un-
Sure.
unfortunately, sometimes you're gonna find yourself out on a limb. But when it's just like constant craziness, I mean, that's why I'm proud when I go back and I watch my videos. Like, we've been pretty on in this channel for a while. But were you calling in about the iPad Go 2 video, or did you want to talk about something else, or
Well, just because a while back you had touched on the same subject on how it's crazy on both, we'll say, both sides. You know, people got the mainstream media, and that's all they stick to. Then you got people out there on YouTube, and that's all they stick to.
yeah,
But you know, you hit the nail on the head a while back. You know, you said to your people, you say out there, hey, it's important that you do your own research.
yes, very
Don't
important.
don't believe that guy. He's just some clown on the screen. To you, it's your job to do your research and say, hey, you know, that guy's right. You know, these things are happening. No one's
Exactly.
talking about it.
And
You know,
that's how you
that's
find good YouTubers. Don't go by how many subscribers they got, or
yeah,
all the little gadgets and they, oh, all right now, it's a kind of professional and all that. That doesn't mean he's right. You know what I mean? Anybody with a few bucks can,
sure,
have a high budget, but that don't mean that they're right and that they're actually like seeking. Well, they might be seeking truth, but doesn't mean that they're doing it successfully. I would say, like you said, when he makes very bold claims, actually look it up yourself, and then, a couple weeks later, look it up again. So, any predictions, look up then and then later. Anything they're saying at the moment, look it up. Form your own opinion. Because there is such a thing as a professional. I mean, they call them like shills, obviously, like a shill, like
right,
that is there to spread disinformation, either to make something that's a big deal not sound like a big deal, or something that isn't a big deal sound like a big deal. So it's
sure,
like, it's not easy doing the truth thing. If it was, I mean, the mainstream media wouldn't be doing what they're doing. But that's why I do my best on this channel to try to, not only give the information but show where I get it. Um, but it's a great point. Very observant on your part.
that's it. You know, that's just what it takes. You know, you say share a video, correct? You know, you tell a person, hey, check this guy out. Look, this is what he's saying. Here's some information. You know, and then people put two and two together. That's what you want to hit. That person who wants to say, you know, I don't believe that bum. Let's go check him out.
Yeah, yeah,
And then once they check you out, and they say, you know, hey, wow, this is going on. Then they come back, hey, what's that?
exactly. Yeah,
And then they'll go out and search something. They can always return the favor by giving you a piece of information.
yeah.
You know, that's just how it has to work. You just have to weed through you have to put on your bullshit boots and weed through the crazy.
And we got to hold people accountable. People who make bold claims, they need to be held accountable. Now,
Well, that,
every YouTuber, including myself, holds the right to change their opinion based on new evidence. New evidence comes out, new information, and you have to change with it. My problem with
correct.
some YouTubers is that they get married to an idea, a story comes out, they come up with something, a theory of their own, and that's
Oh,
fine because at the
I say
beginning that's the
Obama.
toughest time.
Same
But the
thing.
thing is, they refuse to change with the
Yeah,
information. They get married to that idea and they won't change with the information.
of course. It's like Obama. Everybody loves the guy, but they don't change the information that comes out.
Very
They,
good
they,
point.
they
Yeah,
hold on to
that's a
their
good example. Yep.
they hold on to their stuff. You know, you got to kind of look back and say, well, the information I held on to and be researching just contradicts it.
Yeah.
Let's go research that. See if
Exactly.
I'm right or who's wrong.
Like I literally have to pull out my phone and show people that Obama um, had the Smith-Mundt Act, that he took the ban on propaganda and lifted it, hence making
Absolutely.
propaganda legal. It's okay for our media to straight up lie to us.
Yeah, they call that I believe it's the name Lundell bill or
The
something.
Smith-Mundt Act.
That's this one, yes.
Smith-Mundt Act. Yep.
Yeah,
And
that's
people
all
don't
about
believe it. They're like, "That's not true. You're telling me that our country does propaganda." I'm like, "Have you watched TV lately?" And yes, it is true. Let me pull it up for you. And I pull it up, and they read it, and they're like, "Holy shit, I didn't know that." They're like, "Well,
Yeah,
that
well,
must have been repealed." And I'm like, "That's one of the things. I don't know why Trump hasn't done anything about it. The only out I'll give him is maybe he's using it to his advantage." Because I do believe that Q is putting out real intel. So maybe he's using it to his advantage in that way. But if by his second term he hasn't done anything about it, I have some questions at that point.
I tell you what, I got a lot of questions too, but I got to split because I have to eat some dinner now. So real
Okay.
quick, the way I see it is, I think the whole world is WWE, WWF for you older fellas out there. But that's it. They all the wars happen, all the stuff happens on the news. Hillary, Trump, everybody, they all sit back, smoke cigars, hang out, and drink, and laugh at us, just like on the WWF. When the show's over, they go back to the dressing room and hang out. It's just all kabuki theater in a sense.
I agree.
All right, man. Thank you.
And thank you so much for calling in. I know it's not always easiest being the first to call, but thank you.
No, that's always easy.
And
You
by the
guys,
way, yeah, exactly. It really is. But sometimes people just. But that this is Charlie, and thank you, Charlie.
hey, you guys take care.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. That was Charlie. And so let's see. And lie they do. Yes, they do. I know. Not too many, I am Ainsley. Not too many. Not too many. So phone lines open. In the meantime, like I said, I don't want dead air, so I'll keep playing this video. Feel free to call during the video. I'm gonna just keep taking calls. I wanted to play this video. There's a couple things that popped out to me as of late. So wait, you guys can see me, right? Yeah, yeah, okay. Oh wait, it's on me. I'll fix that. Let me fix that. Sorry about that. It should be up. Oh, I see. Okay. Alright, this is when it gets full. Alright. It's the Lotus. LO. And the Lotus flower. guys think that's Notre Dame in the background there? Or just representative of the church? And there's that O you see on all their faces. Alright. Now, is there an iPet Goat 1? I just thought of that. No, I don't think there is. I think it's just named that for some reason. I don't think there's an iPet Goat 1. Queen Elizabeth? What? Is an iPet Goat 1? Let me see this. I'm sorry. Clickbait probably. I just gotta see this. Queen Elizabeth and iPet Goat 2, I mean. I want to see this.
Guys, Nappy Soldier here. Just wanted to show you a real quick video.
Wow, a lot of views.
Something I found on accident.
Oh, her face? Is that her face?
iPet Goat.
Is that what he's talking about?
I was just about to work on how Trump is standing behind this character here, the AC character.
I think he's just talking about.
Trump is actually right here.
Trump?
And the next video, you will see where I've matched
I don't see it.
But anyway, let me show you where I found this. Where Queen
If you make a video like just about iPet Goat 2, you're gonna get tens of thousands of views.
Right here, you can see her hair. There's her eyes, and there's her eyes there, little mouth, nose, and that little froy hair.
I see a face right here. I don't know what this guy is. I see a face right there.
Right here on the ringer too. You know what that is? You know, looks like a little reptilian figure.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is a reptilian. Yeah, I see that. But I don't know what he's talking about with Trump over here. I don't see anything here. I see a face there though. Right here. There's a face. He's saying the face is in here. I see a face right here. Eye, nose.
Let's see where I paused it at.
Unless that's what he's talking about. I don't think that, but he was saying over here. Alright, come on,
Should be
baby.
about right there. Might have just passed it, but it comes so quick. I just happened to. You can see it forming right here.
Where,
I think
buddy?
it just started going away. Yeah, see right where it was. The eyes are starting to fall. Back that up just.
Alright, there's definitely a face right here. There's a face right there, but that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about something different that's going to be in here. Is he talking about that? This guy's on. Alright, that just shows. Oh my god. I could do a 5-hour video with so much information and get 13,000 and get 1/100th of the views. Crazy. That's crazy. For something that crazy. I guess it's just clickbait, you know, you see the title, it's like, ooh, it got me a click, right? You know? You see it? You see the face I'm talking about or the one he's talking about? Because I saw a face off to the left. You guys could see the Queen Elizabeth face? You guys could see that while it was falling? I couldn't see it. I saw the serpent thing up on the top, and I saw the, over to the left, I saw the, like a face that was just sitting there the whole time, though. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I know it was released in Canada. Yeah, Brian's got it. Yep. Just so you guys know, in case you didn't know, I just kind of figured people know that's been out for a while. But yeah, it's from a Canadian company, and that must be the owner of the company. Who is he, Brian? Is that the owner of the company, Heliofont, or is he like a or is he like the? Because I know a lot of people, they use people from all different fields, mythology, archaeology, history. They use like experts from all these different fields and put that together. The one I'm talking about, yeah. No, I never, yeah, but I never seen. I didn't see the one this guy, the guy that was I just had that I was just playing. I didn't see what he was talking about. I mean, I kind of did, but like really, he got over 13,000 views for that crap, and he missed the face. He's referring to a face, yet there actually is a face next to it that he easily could have pointed that out and said, "Hey, that's you know, the Pope." Although it was kind of like a female face. All right. So, by the way, guys, if you guys just joined us, phone lines are open. We had a nice call from Charlie, and yep, phone lines are open. In the meantime, it's kind of like look like a crown and a robe as well. Huh? I didn't see that. See, there's so much in these videos. I mean, when you break it down like frame by frame, it's really something. Um, I guess I'll just talk while we're waiting on the next caller. So, what have I been doing? Well, in my personal life, I'll keep that to myself for now. But as far as like research, I have been all over the coronavirus and Q. And 2008 was established. This field was okay. There we go. Good information, Brian. Brian, he impresses me all the time. Okay, so good info, Brian. So basically, what I've been doing is I've been like coronavirus all over that, and I feel like outside of a few things, there was no way of knowing. Like the R naught might actually be higher. We are now, by the way, in the fourth, going on fifth generation, which is exactly what I said. But basically, that video I did in the coronavirus is pretty accurate for January 27th. So we have that. And the other main thing I've been looking into, outside of I always keep up on current events. That's a given. But also, and I was wondering, in my absence, I was like, are people seeing that with Q, if they've been following Q, that the things I said are coming to fruition? I didn't, I don't know if you guys had missed it or what, but there was so much I said about Q that came to be exactly what I said it would be. We're talking dates. We're talking exact events. I mean, it's pretty crazy. January 28th, December 9th. Those two dates hold. They hold. And not just that, but there's some other dates coming up. And it's starting to go mainstream. Q is going mainstream. Now they're still, of course, attacking him in the mainstream. But you don't see them attack, you don't see them, they don't just attack somebody like that for no reason. If you guys want, we can get into some Q stuff as well. By the way, the last Q post, by the way, just to let you know, said game over. The first Q post said, do you want to play a game? And that was actually directed, it was basically directed at everybody, but it was mostly directed at the deep state and all that. Do you want to play a game? The last post that was just today, at least unless he's posted since earlier today, which he very may well have. But the last one that I saw at least was game over. So Brian, I'm happy you said that. Brian's on fire. Okay, all right. So check this out. Now we all know, and I said this back January 27th, and it holds true today. We can't take the numbers and the information coming out of China. You can't take them at face value. So the next question becomes, where can we find some type of numbers, information, things like that that can give us an idea of not only how many people have been affected, but how many people can be affected based on things like the R naught number. You know, the R naught number of the flu is 1.8. The R naught number of SARS, I believe, was like 2 point something. At the time, I reported the R naught number as a 3.8. Now they're saying it actually might be more. And when I look at the numbers, I actually agree with what they're saying now. They're saying it's up 4, maybe 5, closer to 5, about 5.0, which is unbelievable. I mean, if you recall, I said anything over 3.0 is very, very bad. Anything over 4.0, forget about it. Well, the place that I would look for these numbers is what you see on your screen, the Princess cruise ship. The numbers coming out of that ship, we can trust those numbers to a point. And this is the only reason I say to a point. Because 2/3 of the passengers haven't even been tested yet. So imagine the numbers, and look at just today, 88 confirmed. All right, that's today. So that's only with 2/3 of the passengers. I believe. Correct me. This might not be right. 3,500, 2,500 people on there, or 3,500, I think. So when you want to look, Singapore has done a great job of reporting. Now Japan, they've done a pretty good job of reporting, but you know what they haven't done a good job of? Stopping the spread. Same thing with South Korea. In fact, one of the biggest fears with the coronavirus right now is that South Korea had let somebody go who ended up being infected, and they went out, and the fear is that they went and infected a bunch of people. And you think, well, why wouldn't they stay home? They know they're sick. Oh, do not, and I hate to say this, but let's be honest, sometimes people suck. In fact, there was a video somebody sent me today, and I had seen the video prior, but I think it's like a good video to kind of show how really disgusting it is. I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Let me just make sure that the screen isn't showing. I'm gonna show a video real quick. And meanwhile, the lines are open, guys. So don't let me stop you from calling. I just I can't have dead air and talk about things. You know what? Hold on. Let me just Okay, good. Okay. All right. Let me just pull this up real quick. Take 1 second. I haven't missed any calls, man. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm just pulling up a video, but the reason I have to do it like this, I have to, I protect identities of people. Come on. Here we go. All right. Inbox. Bang. sorry about that. Okay, so all right, all right, guys. So check this out. So if anyone's looking for prepper groups, that's something I've been thinking about too. But check this out, guys. Let me make sure. Can you guys see that? Can you guys see that? You should be able to see it. All right.
I want you to share this video to anybody you know. This happened in China. This is a lady who went to the hospital and they've diagnosed her of the coronavirus.
This woman got diagnosed with the coronavirus. Now, look how disgusting what she does is. She's so miserable, she wants to spread it to other people. And this is more common than you realize. She just happened to be on camera.
Is going back home. She got into a lifter.
Hold on. Let me just see. Can you guys hear the audio, by the way? And you guys can hear the audio, too? Just want to make sure. Audio, yes or no? When I play it.
Public lifter. She started spitting the virus on the lifter button. So please watch it carefully. You have to be careful the way you use public things nowadays, because the world is wicked. People are so wicked. Just watch what the lady is doing. Watch the video carefully.
Disgusting. Spitting all over the numbers. It's
now
poor.
People coming into the lifter.
That girl. See this woman who just came in? She just pressed a button. All she has to, once she touches her face, she might not even have to. She might not even have to touch her face. But just the fact that, you know, that she spit all over it like that, that's it. You touch it. This thing is so highly contagious. And that's why I was talking about the cruise ship. Because we're not going to get real numbers out of China. So where can we get real numbers out of? Well, the places like the cruise ship. It's going to be reported accurately despite only 2/3 being tested. So whatever numbers they report, I mean, really, you got to multiply that by 33, you know, add 33% to it. So, but yeah. So I'll start it from the top now that I know you guys can hear.
Hello, good evening or good morning. I want you to share this video to anybody you know. This happened in China. This is a lady who went to the hospital and they've diagnosed her of the coronavirus. Now she is going back home. She got into a lifter, a public lifter. She started spitting the virus on the lifter button. So please watch it carefully. You have to be careful the way you use public things nowadays, because the world is wicked. People are so wicked. Just watch what the lady is doing. Watch the video carefully. Now people coming into the lifter, and once they come into the lifter, automatically you must touch the button to the floor you go into. So you see how they distribute the virus. That is why the virus is spreading so fast, because demonic agents are at work. Okay, now she stays into the lifter because she wants to really pollute the place with the virus. See, she keeps spitting on the door, spitting. She keeps spitting around.
Spitting everywhere.
Watch carefully. Now this is another old man who came up with the virus. See how he will spit on the lifter button. Then he will spit on his hands. See, he spit on his hand.
Now this is a different guy, mind you. Mind you, this is a different guy now. I mean, it's so bad. It's like, and by the way, that woman who came in after, she was spitting on all the buttons. She was of childbearing age. I mean, I hate even said that's like a weird thing. I hate that term. Like, oh, she's of childbearing age, but she was. She could have kids at home. They get it. Now, mind you, she was sent home knowing she has the coronavirus. They don't quarantine her. She's angry at the world. Chances are she'll live. The death rate is chances are in your favor of living. You know, depending on what country you're living, they could be even better than other countries. But chances are you'll live. It won't might not. Then again, she's a little bit older, so her chances might not be as good as someone who's a little bit younger than her. But to spit on those, and then that poor woman, right there, boom, she got it. I mean, there's reports of people who wear the. By the way, if you're gonna get a mask, you need to get the P90. Did I say that right? P90. I'm sorry, N95. I don't know why I said that. The N95. N as in November. November 95. N95. Okay, so well, that's the thing, Brian. I can't speak for China because I don't trust any of the numbers coming out there. But in across the world, the numbers you see, yes, the N95. That's the best mask you want. But even people wearing, forget about the N95. They're wearing full hazmat suits and these, the goggles, even though they have the hazmat thing on. And one of them, and they were on the ship treating people, one of them caught it, even with all that gear. And just how it's spreading through that ship. That's why this ship it's like a case study. I don't mean to like dehumanize the people because I mean these are people's lives. They went and got the last Americans off that ship, and they'll be quarantined 14 days. In my opinion, they should be doing 20 days, even though I don't like the idea of quarantining anybody, but this is real. For those of the people out there saying that this isn't real, listen, you're not just doing yourself a disservice, you're doing the public a disservice. This is real. Let's continue. Yeah, so the N95 mask, that's what you want. But even with that, there's no guarantees. And goggles that are airtight on the sides. So there's another guy.
He rubbed it on the buttons of the lifter. Just watch.
Oh no, he wipes it all over. Ugh.
Yeah. This is how they distribute the virus.
That's disgusting. Disgusting. Phone line's still open, guys. But I can show you different stuff like this. Like I said, I've been following the coronavirus very closely, Q very closely. But I wanted you guys to steer the conversation. So, yeah. See, Brian just said what I was just saying. The full modern suits for the ship have contracted it. Should quarantine 4 weeks, and I agree with the 4 weeks. I was thinking like 3 weeks, but yeah, hey, even 4 weeks, especially when it's spreading the way it is on the ship. In fact, you know what? I want to bring up. If you guys want some good places to go for information, this is what I would recommend. Name of this video is the next 2 weeks the next 2 weeks are critical. This is peak prosperity. I like this guy. Nice short video too, I believe.
If you give me 45 seconds, I'm going to show you how I generated almost $2 million in the past 2.
So yeah. So some of the symptoms, another thing, like people, like I have a lot of family that work in the medical field. Like people who are getting the flu now, they're worried. They think they have the coronavirus.
2.5 years using a simple
and one of
money-making technique that uses the Maps app on your phone. It's actually quite simple. It allows normal people.
All right, here we go. Oh, all right.
Coronavirus cases outside of China continue to grow exponentially, but good news, kids seem to be spared. Hello, everyone. This is Chris Martinson here with your COVID-19
Oh, and that's not the only thing.
update.
You know what they're finding out? Not only are children getting it at lower rates, but also they're finding it in higher rates in men, and at that, Asian men. Which, when I heard that, I was like, wait. So I did a little research, and it's true. There's something in the genome of this virus, and in the genome of people where, if you are of Asian descent, you have a much higher chance of contracting it. Well, red pill, of course, it just seems like that because it's in China. No, the actual genome of the virus and of the people contracting it, you could have an Asian person and a white person in the same exact situation, or a black person for that matter. The Asian male is the most likely to get it. That sounds like pseudoscience, but that's actually legit. Uh, Dr. Paul, Dr. Paul Cornwall, I believe. Paul Cornwall was the first I heard to announce that, by the way. He's a doctor from Harvard.
For February 18th, 2020. I'm going to title this one, What's Going On in the West? But before we get there, first the numbers. All right, let's take a quick peek
numbers
here. And, I don't trust any of these numbers out of China.
Nope.
What can I tell you? Going by their numbers, it looks like containment is working if you trust their numbers. I believe that the kinds of containments that we have been seeing in China should be absolutely slowing down the rate of spread. But listen, China may have underreported this by a factor of 10 or more at the outset.
I think
so we really
you
don't
add
know
a
what those
zero
numbers are.
to
I think
everything.
the Diamond Princess cruise ship, the
Add
plague
one
ship,
more
is giving
zero.
us a pretty good handle on exactly how transmissive this thing is. This is really beginning to support the idea that this virus spreads through aerosol transmission, which we're pretty sure of, but we're just sort of continuing to confirm that as these cases come up. And now we're up to 20 in serious or critical there. Good news, Singapore seems to have slowed down a little bit. There were 8 at one point on serious or critical, but all 4 of these are in critical.
Thank you, I am Ainsley.
See deaths showing up over
Dr.
here.
Paul
Japan.
Control. Correct.
Japan, to me, is the country to watch. It looks like they are now well on their way. They're going to surpass Singapore, I would imagine, here. 8 new cases. We'll be talking about those in a second. And it's really starting to look like Japan is going to be the place where this is going to blow up next for a couple reasons. All right. The next 2 weeks are going to be really, really critical in this story. And I've said that before, but now we've got a bunch of data to support that a little bit further. We see South Korea now, 1 new case of the coronavirus. This is with a woman who has no travel history. Just where did this come from? Picked it up somewhere along the way. And so this...
Now, what does that tell you? No travel history. That adds a generation. So she's most likely 4th generation. How do I know that? Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? She didn't travel there. So someone came to, I believe it was South Korea, and gave it to her. And apparently, if this is the same woman, here as well as in Singapore, there were people who were released with the coronavirus. And then when they started having symptoms, they had to go over everywhere that they had been. Turns out 2 of them were Uber drivers of some sort. So there might be an uptick, and we might be looking at fifth generation pretty soon in those countries. In China, there's no telling what generation it's up to. We can only really go by the countries surrounding China, just for the lack of just for the disinformation alone. Anyways,
This really speaks to the idea that there is are other cases in South Korea that are yet to be detected spreading. And the way of this, and I'll show you a chart in a second, the way that exponential increases in something like a disease like this go, it's pretty slow at first. 1 case, 2, 4, stuff like that. But when it gets going, it really gets going. So we're going to have to keep an eye on what's happening in South Korea. Singapore, 4 new cases of the coronavirus, 5 others released from the hospital. That's very good news. 4 people, as I mentioned, in critical condition. And again, these cases are not showing any clear link back to China and travel to China. So again, it looks like it's endemic in their country. So they have a local epidemic now, and we'll just have to see how fast that goes. But let's go to Japan, where I think we're going to see this thing really break out and make the biggest trouble going forward. I think the next few weeks are going to be very hard in Japan. We have 23 people now with coronavirus in Japan that are seriously ill, according to the country's health minister. That includes 20 people from the cruise ship, 3 in Tokyo. 7 new cases of coronavirus. Again, all these saying 1 hour. These were all done, located. All this news was located today on the 18th. 3 in Tokyo, 3 seriously ill. 22 there, but 3 new in Tokyo. 1 way out in this prefecture, 1 out in this prefecture. There's information coming in now that potentially the cruise ship itself is a source of some of these infections, because people who are going there working on the cruise ship were then taking off their PPE, their personal protective equipment.
and the phone lines are still open.
Then getting on buses and trains and going home. So that could be a source of what's happening here in Japan. This coronavirus, seems to not only travel really easily, but survive pretty well on the outsides of things. So here, seeing finally on CNBC, on Squawk Box here today, saying Japan appears to be on the cusp of a large outbreak and maybe epidemic growth in Japan. We need to watch that very closely. Former FDA Commissioner Scott Gottlieb. That's actually, so we're starting to see this truth begin to break out a little bit. Now, a lot of people have asked me, and I've also been puzzling myself over this idea of where are all the cases outside of China? Why haven't they really taken off? And there I think we're going to have to take a couple of views on this. The first, there may well be a lot of...
Well, there's the incubation period. So, if there's going to be a huge break, and I'm talking like thousands in all these other countries, it's going to be happening, I would say, in the next week or 2. You'll start seeing those numbers skyrocket. And that's because of the incubation period. A lot of times you don't know you're sick for weeks. So... that's what makes this so deadly.
Cases out there that are not being detected, and I'll get to why that is in a second. And some of it's just because, well, you know as well as I do, this thing is asymptomatic potentially for a long time. Very difficult to detect when it's asymptomatic and resident out in your population. But the other thing is, let's just look at the data here. And so this is a chart that a member Tom Sammy at Peak Prosperity, one of our people there, put together this handy chart of all cases outside of China. So thank you, Tom Sammy, for that. And this is as of February 16th. You can see the shape of this blue line here is really starting to pick up, and that's starting to look a little bit...
Brian, I couldn't agree more. God is there to help us. As Amazing Baby said, God will be there for us. But you can't solely rely on that, because, in my opinion, God helps those who help themselves. I mean, it's actually in the Bible. It says that, God will help those who help themselves. In maybe different wording, but essentially.
Bit exponential, that has that curved shape. So even though it feels like there aren't a lot of cases outside of China, in fact, the shape of this chart suggests maybe we're just at the early stages of an exponential growth across the world. And in fact, today is the 18th, so let's true this up for February 18th. We now have 999 confirmed cases outside mainland China, allowing me to just sort of draw this green line on here to extend this chart. So I think you can see the shape of that curve that we've got there. The next couple weeks are going to tell us if we're right or not. The doubling period on this is about every 6 to 7 days. So given that, we would expect to see this at 2,000 cases by, well, let's call it a week from now, and it's the 18th. So by February 25th, if we have 2,000 cases, this chart will be way up here somewhere, and we'll still be on that exponential phase of the growth
10 days
of this
from now,
particular
we'll
virus. All right.
10 days to 2
Let's
weeks.
look at the cruise ship again. I just, wholly inappropriate quarantine practices may have helped spread coronavirus on the Diamond Princess cruise ship. Experts say, let's listen to these experts a little bit more, because I think they're onto something. Absolutely the case that...
That's so true. I think that's so true. I mean, you have all these people on this ship, and I've seen more videos from that ship, and it's just people walking around with masks. They think they're all good. And it's no wonder. You have all these people in these closed quarters. It can be transmitted through bodily fluids, and I'm not just talking coughing. It's, first of all, it stays on surfaces for 3 days. You go to the bathroom, it's there. Everywhere you go. So I really don't think that they did a good job at all. And my theory, and they knew that it would spread a lot more rapidly with the way that they've been handling it on this Diamond Princess cruise ship. But this is the theory I put forth. Unfortunately, I think they're looking at these people as almost like test subjects because, and I know that sounds sick, but this is the best case study that we have. We can't trust what comes out of China. You can't really do that to a sovereign nation. So some of these other nations, how are we gonna, I don't see that working. But when you have a cruise ship in international waters, well, you have people from all different countries on it. That's a pretty good litmus test as to what we're dealing with. You can kind of figure out the I naught number, meaning, how it spreads, The I naught number, basically, to sum it up, I guess it would be like, for each person who has it, how many people will they transmit it to? If you have an I naught number of about, 4.5, which sounds about right for this virus at this point. I had it at 3.8. I would say about 4.5 now. That means every person that gets it gives it to 4.5 people. Those 4.5 people give it to 4.5 people each. And then those people would be third generation. Just to catch people up on some of the terms.
Whatever we were doing to try and quarantine, or whatever they were doing to try and quarantine, really wasn't working. And I heard reports, I couldn't confirm them, but somebody said that one of the couples that has been broadcasting their experience from the cruise ship, a British couple, had filmed a noise outside of their room and saw that people in full hazmat suits were out there taping plastic over a vent. And you would only do that if you thought that this stuff was traveling through the vents, and you would only do that if you thought it was aerosolized at that point in time. So I think this wholly inappropriate was because they didn't appreciate that this thing is aerosolized, and that's a giant problem in this particular story. All right, here's where I think we are in this particular story. All truth passes through 3 stages. First, it's ridiculed. Second, it's violently opposed. Third, it's accepted as being self-evident. Thank you, Arthur Schopenhauer. Stage 2.9, just before you get to self-evident, that's when the toilet paper all disappears. I think that's what the officials are really trying to do, is to keep the concern about this down. They want people not to go out and rush out and prepare all at once in a hurry and hoard and do all those things. I get
Texas
it.
chick.
I totally understand what the public health officials are up against. But there's some magic thing that happens in a culture between something being really ridiculous or stupid or even something that makes you mad to all of a sudden people accepting it as self-evident. And when that happens, that's where the race is on. And I think that's what they're trying to keep us down here in this confused stage, is how I'm
Now,
reading
did you guys hear that? I love that. it's unfortunate, but it's true. It's just the human condition. As far as truth, so all truth passes through three stages. First, it is ridiculed, and trust me, as somebody who's a truther and puts out truth, I can relate. Second, it is violently opposed. Again, I can relate. Third, it is accepted as being self-evident. That goes with truth. That goes with breakthroughs in science. That goes with many different things. So I just wanted to play that for you, a little bit of that for you guys, just to give you guys a idea there as to what type of some newer information. And I've been reading the comments on my phone, and some great comments, guys. Okay. All right, you guys should be able to hear me. All right. All right. I just want to play some of the. And yeah, it's true, amazing baby, true. Check this. I love this one too. That's very true. I mean, so what do you guys think? Calm music. So yeah, so what do you guys think? I wanna take some calls on this. Let me put the phone number in there again. And how have you guys been doing? You know, doesn't have to be a phone call. It's like a breakthrough call. Just checking in. I think it was a good way to get kind of back into the swing of things. I always like to start with the audience and then go from there. Oh, I didn't even see that, Brian. I actually know who you're talking about. Write that name down, guys. Doing good, doing better, doing good. And Texas chick, I agree with that. I still say it came from a biolab, as I still say it as well. That's what I said in the original video. I think it was January 27th, and I stand by that. Oh, by the way, you guys are talking about the Bible too. Something that I want to, in Revelations. Okay, check this out. Oh, first of all, what was the verse you mentioned? First, I'll look up, because if she put a Bible verse, it was Timothy, 2 Timothy, chapter 3, 1-5. So look that up. Boom. All right. Ready? Well, could you guys? Okay. we'll check this out. So here's what Share Bear was talking about. So this no also. Oh, we got a call. For that after the call. Hello, it's the Red Pill Dispensary.
Hi, are you still on the air?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, okay. There might be a lag then, huh?
Yeah. There's usually there's like a I don't know, like 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Once you see it go from a Bible verse to me, then you'll hear yourself. But then there'll be an echo. But how you doing?
Good. I thought I would give you a call.
All right. I'm happy that you did.
Yeah.
And may I ask who we're speaking to? Even if you don't give us the real name or whatever you want. Just something to...
Sure, it's Amazing Baby. That's my handle.
Oh, Amazing Baby. How you doing?
Yeah, Mike. Obviously, I'm a guy. Yeah.
All right, Mike.
I'm okay. Most people think I'm female, but that's fine.
You know what? I thought that too. I guess it's the baby part.
Because I'm nice. Sweet all the time. Until I get angry. But that's another story that rarely happens. You probably won't see that.
All right.
But, yeah. Days are over all caps, those fights. But,
so I was just I saw you what you were writing. I liked what you some of your comments, and I was just looking into I was gonna look into Timothy, and then the white horse as well as the pale horse of Revelations.
yeah, I was reading that recently too, the Revelation. I want to get back into Revelation now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Anything I should pull up? Oh, I thought. Do you mean right now? Or you mean like in general, like reading?
No, not general. In general.
Oh, okay. Because I like to, for the audience's sake, if you, like whatever your topic is, I can like pull it up and pull up things as you talk.
Oh, okay, got it. Well, one of my interesting perspectives is that I live in an Asian rich community in San Diego.
Yep, I have. I was actually supposed to live. I lived in San Diego for a little bit.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they have a huge Navy base out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Linda Vista area.
Okay. Yep. My buddies still live out there.
Mm-hmm. And I shop at the Asian store there. And it's tons of Asian imports from China and everywhere in Asia.
That's a good
and they
point.
They have illegal Chinese working there as well.
Huh. And San Diego is one of the first places hit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it seems that there was a case. I don't know. Just from what I heard on the news, I heard that there was a case in Orange County. And before you know it, they were hosting people that were in quarantine here, hosting them here.
So they got a story here about the coronavirus hurting business for the Chinese in San Diego, which makes sense. I would assume that, right?
Yeah, it was really weird because going to the Asian store, it was right at the time the Chinese New Year, and they had all the really beautiful display of, Chinese imported goods.
Oh, wow.
And it was a ghost town.
Arizona, I'll be taking you next. So, sorry about that.
Yeah, and it was a ghost town. But, I don't know. I was sick with something over Christmas. Like I said, it was, because I heard some of the, symptoms. I didn't listen too deeply to anything in the beginning. I just didn't want to. I was just decided to focus on what I could do and my attitude toward it.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't want to get caught up in the hype because, I live alone. I don't get a chance to, hash things out with people that often. I said, I don't want to put too much in my head. symptoms I had over, now I find out the symptoms I had over Christmas were supposedly, so I kind of wonder if we've already been exposed to it. You know?
So what did the doctor say? Did he say you had the flu? Did he say, because there is actually, this is the most people don't know this, there was there has been a coronavirus, and then now there's the Wuhan strand coronavirus, which makes me believe more and more that it actually did come from a biolab. So there was a coronavirus before, but now there's this Wuhan strand, and that's the one that's the so what did the doctor say?
I didn't go to the doctor.
Okay, so it might have just been a regular.
Anytime I get a virus, don't go to the doctor, and I have not for 8 years.
Yeah, instead of all that Western medicine and pumping India, and I for the Chinese people, I mean, I understand they have their traditions, and I understand that quarantine people to prevent, but yet the China of today is very new. There's a lot of older people who still believe in Eastern medicine and Eastern way of life above all. And when they have this communist government forcing them into these situations and forcing Western medicine down their throat, those are the people you see without masks, and they're forced to wear them, but that's just not part of their Eastern medicine. I kind of feel bad, but at the same time, I understand, the need to stop the spread. Um, but so now, let me ask you a question. So, have you, when you had the flu-like symptoms, did you go out? Did you go about your business as you would any other time?
Yes.
So, how do you feel about that?
I was conflicted. I thought, well, surely it couldn't be here because, our government would have announced it. And so that's why I didn't look at the symptoms of that, because, I'm prone toward a little bit of hypochondria. If I, kind of like, oh, I got it,
I'm like that too. I diagnose myself all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I just took it as it came, and I went out. I thought, well, I'm just being careful. I washed my hands. I don't sneeze on people. I sneeze inside my shirt, which is, I'm reinfecting myself, if anything, to keep it from getting to others. Some people sneeze in the inside of their elbow, and too often I see. I've never seen anyone like that lady. Man.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, it's and the guy. There were two of them. I mean, one's enough, but yeah. I mean, yeah, there's people out there like that. There's people out there that just want to see the world burn.
Yeah, and they said, well, I'm not going to be alone in this. I want other people to suffer.
Yeah, that's that. And you can almost understand it to a point. I mean, you don't know what their history is, their past. It's still disgusting, but I try to put myself in their shoes, and I don't care how miserable I am. I don't wish misery upon others. You know what I mean? But we're all. Some people just aren't right.
Yeah. All right. Can I answer something that somebody just said in the?
Yeah, of course.
The chat? Yeah, SureBear2000 just said, "Oh wow, he's an amazing baby."
Yeah.
Well, actually, I was an amazing baby, but my name stands for Jesus because Jesus, I believe, was an amazing baby.
That is great. I like that. So you guys hear that? His name is Amazing Baby. Most people usually thinks it's a female. Not once I talked to him, I knew he wasn't. But when you see his name in chat, and the reason for it is Jesus, of course, was the most amazing of babies. So
yep,
nice.
That's a beautiful. Yes, that's part of it. And the other part is that I have a friend who, she was very successful in Hollywood, and when she signed her book to me, she wrote that in the book, And that is like something that, how did she know that? So I thought that was God winking at me.
That's
She said, "You're
interesting.
an amazing baby."
She just happened to
So,
put amazing baby of all things in the world referring to you?
yep.
Wow. Now you
Yeah.
didn't go by that to her.
No, no, never.
That is so odd.
Yeah. Well, to me, it was a gift.
I could
It
see
was,
if you had a relationship with her,
oh, I
like
knew her.
you're
I knew her.
amazing, baby. I don't know. I'm trying to
And
make sense of it. That's just wow.
she knew me really. She knew me really well.
Yeah.
I was staying at her house. She was the showgirl. She was married to a Hollywood producer.
Okay. I was about to say that. Oh, the
She was
plot
Hollywood.
thickens.
Yeah, she was totally
But she was
Hollywood.
married. Okay. Okay.
No, not married, but that's how they were. That's the crowd. That's how they talk to each other. It doesn't offend me. You know, it's
Yeah.
you know, she's a nice lady.
Yeah. I'm just messing around. But yeah. So that wow,
Yeah,
that's really interesting.
Yeah, and that's why that it became very special to me, because my mom always told me that I was a special baby, that I was an amazing baby, because my dad, alcoholism was really bad and a lot of violence. But when I was born, things changed, and I was like, oh, well, God must have given me some extra, sunshine before I hit,
Yeah.
hit the womb there. Just, you know what I mean? So it's like a special thing to me. So people can mock it all they want, but to me,
I don't think anyone's mocking it, to be honest with you. Because like if you're referring to Sherby, I think I'm sure some people might, but I haven't seen anybody mock it here. But anyways, so now I don't know what you were referring to, Brian, on January 29th. Oh, Charles Harding, hello. So now you were talking about is there when you say you want to get back into Revelations, um does that have anything to do with the coronavirus, or is there a different reason?
No particular, no, not connected to the coronavirus.
Okay. Because I
No,
see
not necessarily.
I see some correlations there.
Oh, right.
Yep, the crown, I believe it's the white horse, and it's with the crown, correct? And corona, you know what the
I think
corona and
horse was the
coronavirus
white.
means? It means a
Mm-hmm.
crown. Just like on the Corona bear ball, you have the crown on. Corona means
Oh,
crown.
yeah, good insight.
You
Yeah,
know.
because I didn't get into any of this. I was just like, I'm not taking this train this time.
Yeah, you know what? At first, I kind of was thinking like that, but there was a few things I couldn't ignore. Obvious that this was a big deal. That's why some of the YouTubers that played it down, and they're like, "Oh, it's just a conspiracy. It's all fake." It's like, really, all these videos I'm seeing, they're spraying the streets, they're quarantining thousands, tens, and hundreds of thousands of people, and there's actual videos of it, welding people in their homes. That's all Hollywood. Yeah, sure. It's real. It's real. It's real. Now, will it affect us here in the U.S.? There's definite potential for that. It already has, to a point. I think my biggest fear is that their biggest fear is the markets. And once the markets and the economies all start taking a hit and people start panicking, well, then they really got a problem on their hands, and they're trying to avoid that. And if that means not keeping us informed, not making it clear that the incubation period, you are just as you can transmit it just as easily as you can on your deathbed. This vital information that they're keeping from us, it really, it's the difference between life and death, knowing this information versus not knowing this information. But by them not reporting this information, oh, well, the markets are up. Oh, great. That's going to mean a lot when everything crashes. And hopefully it doesn't get to that point, but it's definitely not good over there in Asia. And I wouldn't be surprised if it got worse before it got better elsewhere in the world.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think it's wise to. It's good. It's a good dress rehearsal to study this, and I think a watch person does that. They study, the ins and outs of it. But I just had other priorities with my time, I guess.
Oh yeah,
But
we all
now,
and we all
hindsight,
do, and that's why. And
yeah,
there's not much we can do outside. Try to protect ourselves, and by protecting ourselves, we're protecting others. But am I walking around with the? And again, this is the mask you want. You want to order these and have them. And by the way, they're not the type of mask you can wear every day. You want to have one for each day. If you want to maybe stretch one for 2 days, that's not recommended, but I guess you can. Anything more than 2 days with one mask, that's not good. It's the N95 mask. That goes for everybody, just so you know. Um, oh, someone just brought that up. I didn't know that. This year's leap year. I didn't know that. There was some. I don't know why. Squirrel. But yeah, it's leap year. Leap year. So but yeah, like I don't want to like scare people, and I don't think that people should be scared. You're obviously a religious man, and but I don't think it hurts to be prepared. You know what I'm saying?
definitely. It's just that in the beginning, it was just like everywhere and all the graphics and everything, and it just was, and I just said, I can't get into this. I just can't do this to myself. And, all of the, I'm not saying you because I like your approach. That's why I come here. Because
Thank
you
you.
have a balanced approach.
Thank you.
You have an open mind. I think you have a good sense of judgment and reason.
Yeah, I do
And
my best not to jump to conclusions.
yeah, that's what I like about you is that you do kind of toss things around and you have a humble view. And a lot of the channels don't. They just come out like, they're afraid. You can hear it in their voice, and it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a choice that we make to feel or not to feel. And sometimes I can watch things and not feel afraid, but then others I don't. I need other needs met, and it will make me feel afraid if I hear their fear.
And
So
I think that's a very honest thing to say. And there's every reason that I don't want people to be afraid, but it's a very honest thing for you to say. Um, I get worried, covering all the things I do, and then when I add the biblical aspect into things, you know, it's comforting, but at the same time, it's even more worrisome because it's like, whoa, this might be it. Are we the last generation? These are the type of things I think about, and it's like,
I think
wow,
we all want, yeah, we all want the knowledge. We all want to know the why and the what.
yeah,
And I think what happened with this coronavirus is that it's like, why is it this piecemeal of, there seems to be this piecemeal of information, like, oh, it was 7 days incubation, and then somehow it was 10, and then it was 14.
And do you
And
remember what I
now,
said from the beginning? I don't know if you saw my show. I said 14 from the beginning. I did say it
uh,
was. I said it was seven. I said they're reporting 7 to 10, but I'm hearing as high as 14 or more. So I'm gonna stick with
oh,
that because I'd rather
is that
go
what's
high than
cooking?
low. Huh?
Yeah, is that why? I mean, because I'm not criticizing anyone for doing that. It's
Well, yeah,
just that
yeah, but I was trying to be responsible and also use the best of the information I had. And really, that what's crazy about this is that all the good information outside of that children are less susceptible, Asian men are most susceptible. Outside of really that, that along with the HIV strain within it. Outside of those things, basically everything you needed to know was right there to learn at the beginning before they started whitewashing all the information and making it that it just when you have so many people weighing in and everyone's a doctor and everyone's an expert, all of a sudden the waters are muddied and it's hard to really know what to believe. Whereas at the beginning, luckily I got on it early, so the information I put out I feel was pretty sound and accurate.
Yeah, I should have tuned into you if I tuned in anywhere. But I
Yeah.
was just like here, and I had 3 deaths since December 23rd. I've had 3 deaths, and
Oh,
2 in the family.
I'm
Yeah, and
I'm
1
so
at work.
sorry to hear that. And
Yeah, it was rough.
hopefully that'll be it. You know what they say, right? Death
Yeah,
comes in
coming 3.
threes. So, and
Yeah.
you know what? I found that to be true throughout my whole life. When there's a death, I'm always thinking, who's next? And sure enough, it's always comes in threes. That's like it's like a saying, it's a myth, but it's like real. It throughout my life experience, deaths have come in threes. I don't know what it is.
Right. Yeah, and I had pneumonia symptoms over Christmas, but I just ignored stuff, and I said, I'm not going to think about it. Mind over matter. I'm going to go about my business, and I'm just going to pray. And that's what I decided years ago when I took a vaccine for pneumonia, and it made my whole shoulder and arm hurt for 2 months. And I just said, I'm never taking a vaccine again because my shoulder and my arm felt sick for 2 months, and it was sore, everything I did.
Oh.
And it traveled down. It traveled down the muscle. And I just said, I'm never taking it again. I'll take my chances.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, I don't do any of it. Flu shots, the immunizations, but my daughter, I did get her the flu shot the last time, and I felt weird about it because the only time she gets sick is when she gets the flu shot. So it's like a perfectly healthy child, and we're making her sick. I mean, that's common for people to get because you are actually putting a virus. And by the way, they're just guessing when it comes to the flu shot. They're just guessing. They haven't gotten the flu. They haven't given the correct flu shot, meaning like it will protect you for like something like 6 years. I'm guessing, but it's like a long time. It's a good amount of time that they haven't gotten it right because every year it's a different flu. So they have to, kind of, make an educated guess, basically, as to, okay, well, we think it's going to be this flu. Well, they've been wrong the past, like, 6 years at least. If someone has better number, if someone knows the exact number of years, they haven't gotten it right in years and years and years. So even the people who get the flu shot that think they're immune, nope, they're just as susceptible as anyone else. Not until the year comes when they actually get it right, the flu shot's basically obsolete.
Yeah, I remember that now, that they were saying that it wasn't,
Yeah.
it was a few years back, they said it wasn't effective or...
Oh yeah, for many years in a row, they haven't gotten it right.
Amazing. The doctor at the ER in 2012, the last time I went in for something, and all they've ever done at the VA is give me a Z-Pack. They just
Oh,
say,
you're a
"Here's your
vet?
Yeah, whoops. I accidentally hit this one.
What branch were you in?
I was in the Army Reserves.
Nice. Navy.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. I forgot. Yeah. And then you were saying yeah, the CPAC. I remember that. I remember getting the CPAC.
The doctor, what she told me in the ER, she said there's 22 different strains. She said at the time, she goes, there's 22 different strains of viruses out there. She goes, I don't know what you have, but there's no cure for a viral. And then they confuse you because they say viral infection. And
Yes.
all that means is they're borrowing the word infection to say that there's a high preponderance of, the virus in you,
Exactly.
proportionately to
Yeah.
your unit as a, measure.
Yep.
And so that was it. And then I took the Z-Pack, all the other people passing them in the hallways, everybody's got a Z-Pack. And I said, I don't want to come back. I don't want to do this.
And all that's gonna do for you really is just like, I don't know, boost up some of your vitamins. You know what I mean? It's like, it's good for a cold maybe. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, I just hope that I'm not walking around contagious or something, but I go to the doctor Monday, this coming Monday, for my physical.
There you go. Well,
So
let me know.
yeah,
Let me know how it goes. I'll be, I'll be curious. So, you could email me. I'll put it in after the show. All my information.
okay, yeah, I'll email you. What do you want me to put in the tagline to jog your memory?
Amazing baby.
Okay, yeah, you should remember that, right?
Yeah, that'll be.
Okay.
I remember that one. So,
Yeah, cool.
so anything else before?
You know, I could talk all day. I think of stuff, but then I don't. It doesn't come out. I guess one of the last things to say is, um, you know, protecting ourselves. You know, what do we know? Who has inside information? You probably have it on here, and I have just come along, and I should go rewatch all your stuff. It's the immune and stuff. Because there's also some really economical ways, because a lot of people are always throwing the vitamins at me, you know, and it's like $30 here and 30 here. And it's kind of expensive to be doing that constantly, and I just
Well, yeah.
wonder if they're,
There's natural
yeah,
ways. I mean, just honestly, like, I'm not like a. I try not to be like even with my daughter, and this might sound bad to some people, but like some people are like they hover over their children. It's like, oh no, no, don't touch that, don't touch that. Oh, your hands, oh no, no, no. Sometimes you got to let a kid be a kid, and your immune system will boost naturally. Like I don't get sick. Then again, I'm not like one of these, like I'm not like a germaphobe. I don't know. Sometimes I just believe like your immune system naturally builds up. By the more that you are, now this might not be the best time for it, but just in general, I would say, the more that you're introduced to different things, the easier you're gonna fight off anything that'll attack your immune system.
yeah, that's my philosophy, and that's what I've said. That's what I'm believing by not, because I'm 55 and I have an autoimmune with celiac disease,
Okay.
and then I
Yep.
have a heart rhythm issue, but other than that, I'm healthy.
Yep.
So I try not to look at any of those things. I try not to, live by an excuse or, oh, I'm poor and sickly. So I would rather tough things out than to go to a sickly infested waiting room with people sneezing and coughing on me. And, uh,
Yeah. And plus they're actually saying like in some of the hottest hit places in Asia, they're saying if you're sick, just stay home. Don't to the doctors because you have a higher chance of becoming sick going to the doctors for something small, and you might get something much worse than what you went in with. And for even the doctor's sake, I guess, I mean, I don't really understand that part of it, but that's what I was hearing.
yeah.
Yeah, you
I
might.
just remember nobody went to the doctor when they were sick. You just stayed home. You had the flu.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, well,
My,
thanks
my,
for your time.
of
To
course,
keep you.
of course, of course, and thank you
Yeah.
for calling in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, thanks for the work you're doing, and I'll go and rewatch some of your videos and see. I'm sure you have a lot of good perspective on them.
Oh yeah.
There.
So we cover everything, so I think you'll enjoy. Um,
Yeah, thanks a lot.
all right. Thank you so much.
You bet. Have a good night.
All right. Take care. Good night. All right. So that was a good call. Thank you, amazing baby. All right. And there it is. All right. So I wanted to take a look at I'm right here. Alright. Alright. Alright, should be able to see now. Okay, so Shea Bear brought this up. Alright, so Shea Bear brought this up. I want to bring up Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 5. Peekaboo. Okay. Alright. So why is giving me such a hard time? Alright, so this should work. It's not, it doesn't want me, it seems like it doesn't want me to, it's not, it doesn't want me, it seems like it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't want me to, pull this up. I'll just read it from my phone. All of a sudden, it's not letting me share screen. So I'll just read it from here. Because if I read it from there, you won't be able to hear the audio. Alright. So chapter 3, verse 1 through 5. Okay. So. So chapter 3. This is chapter 3. Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 to 5. But mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. By the way, this is the New International Version. I'm going to go to the King James. Yeah. I'm going to do the King James. Sorry, we all have different preferences. I'm going to do the King James. No audio? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? You should be able to hear me. You guys got audio, right? You hear me? Alright, alright. Thank you, Tony. Alright. So, Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 5, King James Version. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, I should say, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, incontinent, fierce, despises of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. Wow. I mean, that's scripture, but thank you for bringing that to us, Shabir. That was great, Shabir. Wow. Wow, that rings true. That rings true. Now, I was looking at some Bible verses connected with the coronavirus. So there's a prophesized disease. So the biblical book of Revelation is about things which shall be hereafter, or occurrences that would happen after the era of the Apostle John. That's Revelation chapter 119. In Revelation 6, John was inspired to write about the 7 seals, as I'm sure most of you know of this. The 7 seals. And the steps to each, when each seal is broken, what's to come. And they all lead up to the return of Jesus Christ, of course. The first 4 are often called the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. They represent religious deception, war, famine, and disease. Sound familiar? Regarding the 4th horse and its rider, John writes, I looked, and there was a pale green horse. Its rider's name was Death, and Hades followed him. And that's verse 8. This is a personification of disease epidemics, sickly, haunting, and unyielding. Where's that trip? Well, you don't have to put the state, maybe the region. Alright, so to continue. The passage says that along with the other 3 riders, the anemic looking horseman that represents disease will slay the 4th part of the earth, meaning 1/4 of the earth. And if we have 7.7 billion, well, 1/4 of 8 billion would be 2 billion. So we're looking at, and then the 7. So divide that by 4. I mean, you're basically looking at 3.18 billion. I mean, 2.18 billion, roughly, just under 2.2 billion. I'm sorry. Just under 2 billion, but probably somewhere around like 1.75 billion. would be left out of that 7.7 billion. I could do the exact math, but it's in that ballpark. Is this coronavirus part of the fulfillment of this prophecy? I mean, that's the question that we have to ask ourselves at this point. Now I'm curious. I just want to read what you wrote because you know what? Originally, I had it as the white horse, and I'll tell you why. But I'm open to all different. I had it as the white horse with the crown, because of the crown. I believe the pale horse with the rider on the back, whose name is called Death, and was sent out to kill, is a pale green horse translated in the Strongs, representing Muslims. All right, that very well may be actually. Because at first I was thinking the white horse. That's the one that made the most sense to me. That was my initial thought. Either my daughter woke up. By the way, I'm not gonna get any deeper into it, but it's been just my daughter and I since the last time you guys saw me. Either she just woke up. I'll continue. It hasn't been easy, you know? Alright. Where was it? Alright. So you know what? Yeah, so I'm gonna go to where I originally, with the white horse and the crown. Alright, King James. And I looked, and behold, a white horse. He who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him. He went out conquering and to conquer. Now, when people read that, they always like they thought Napoleon could be, like a person, a king. But as Bible prophecy works out, 99% of the time, it's not the obvious, but once the prophecies become fulfilled, it's like, oh yeah, that fits perfectly. Well, that's what I think the coronavirus is personally. I think that it is. Thank you, Charles. I appreciate that. I think it's the white horse. And when you read that and you think about it, and he has a bow. Now, why a bow? Well, like the virus, it's a long range killer. Um, if you're killed by somebody with a bow, they can be so far away you don't even see what actually killed you. You just die. I mean, that kind of how I kind of correlate that. But what's even more, if it was just that, then eh. But when you really look at what it says here, and I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow. So long distance way of killing like a virus. But here's what gets me. And a crown was given unto him. Now the coronavirus, that means basically you could translate that into the crown virus, and this crown was given onto him. Following that, now he has. Let's just play that this may be the case. Let's just play along. So, a crown was given onto him, crown, corona, crown means the same thing. So this coronavirus was given onto him. And what did he do? What was someone with the coronavirus do? He went forth conquering and to conquer. That's where I see the coronavirus, in the white horse, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the first horse, right? So this could be the first horse, the first the first seal, the first horse, right? The first seal and the first horse. The first four seals are the horses, and I believe of the four. And then we also have, these like images of Kim Jong Un on the white horse. We have, Putin on the white horse. It's like we have the president, if you call him president, but the president of China on a white horse. With all those pictures came out lately. And then you have this, and I saw, behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown, a corona, was given unto him. And he went forth conquering and to conquer. So that's what I get there. I mean, what do you guys think? Oh, it's a shadow. That's my shadow. Sometimes when there's a light and there's like an object moving, a shadow. It's really weird. Sounds funny. That's the shadow. But do we know that Nanonite? Is that like written in stone? I don't know. The white horse, the Antichrist. Would the Antichrist come first? I don't think so. We don't know. That's the thing. We don't know. That's the funny thing about prophecy. This fits. Maybe the coronavirus has nothing to do with the horseman. I find that just as likely. Just as likely as the white horse being the coronavirus. I find it just as likely that the coronavirus has nothing to do with the four horsemen and the first four seals. However, to just dismiss it and say that no, because that's the Antichrist, period. Well, I don't see it written that plainly at all. And I'm not, trust me, I'm just saying. The black horse comes with salmon. We could guess a lot of things, but really, I could see this coronavirus, especially if it's if the white horse is the first horse, like I think it is, according to the Bible, according to Revelations, and that's the first seal. That would set in motion the rest. Think about it. When the economy of the world, as the United States of America, we used to not just consume, but we also used to be huge exporters. Well, let's be honest. One little section of China exports 90% of the world's goods. So China is a huge exporter. That's going to affect trade. That's going to affect the economy. That's going to affect food supply. It's going to affect everything. So if there was ever and I hate to use the word perfect, but I mean ideal way of these seals being broken one after the other, and which one would happen first, it seems like the white horse and the coronavirus would be a good place to start. And mind you, this is nothing to be scared of, because this is all leading up to the return of Jesus. So it must be done. But if that's the first domino to fall, the dominoes that follow, you can almost see it happening with the economy and trade and famine, and you could just see it. How this happening first could set the rest in motion, and it just gets exponentially worse with each sale, each horse. And I'm not dismissing anything that you guys may feel because we all interpret things differently. Um, but I'm just giving you my interpretation. The reason. In the word they fight with swords and arrows. See, whenever I see like stuff like the word sword, I take it as like the word. Anyone else? Very true. True. And what was he saying? It was an Irish who's this you're speaking of? Hey, Texas chick, to what you just said, that crossed my mind. The fact that it's now the data is showing that if you have a white man, a black man, and an Asian man, and they are all in the same circumstance, the Asian man is far more likely to contract this virus. When I saw that, I thought, hmm, what timing? They just signed phase one of the trade deal with China. Yet the problem of China still looms. And as long as China's around, they're going to be a thorn in our side. Reverse engineering, all this technology that keeps us to be the leading country in so many different fields. To just basically them building up their military. Now Trump has definitely slowed things. Um, but for instance, like Huawei, and that's like a state-run. They would be the number one cell phone company in the world if it wasn't for some of the restrictions that we put on their software and their phones. We forced Google to not let them use the Google Play Store, which you think, oh, what's the big deal? Oh, that's a huge deal. I mean, if you get your phone and you can't get any apps from Google, well, you're in trouble. Um, but what were you referring to, Sailor Spirit? Right here. Good, good one. Yeah, it's a good. That's a good observation, John. And it is. It's very hard to interpret the Bible. It's almost like one of those things where you can't marry to any one idea when it comes to prophecy. Let's say, because the way I found it, it's almost like if you read the Revelation 12 sign, let's just assume that the Revelation 12 sign is what we saw in the sky when Jupiter did the retrograde for 9 months exact, the exact length of a gestation period of a birth. Inside of Virgo came out between her legs. Revelation 12 sign, right? Also, the amount of stars upon her head, if you include the other planets that were lined up perfectly. I think it was Venus, Mercury, Mars. They were all lined up along with other stars, and they formed some type of thing, crown on her head or something like that. But anyways, that Revelation 12 sign, let's say that's legit, which I think it is. People thought, oh, well, nothing happened. I didn't expect anything to happen after Revelation 12. I just expected it to be a sign that the days are near. We're entering these last days. And I took it like that. And people forget, that was only September 23rd, 2017. You know, that's what, 2.5 years ago. So, who would think 1,000 years ago, reading Revelation 12, that it would actually be in the sky? I mean, they'd actually probably be more prone to think it back then because people were look to the sky more, way more than they do now. Especially when they were kind of mixing paganism with Christianity back then. Like in the 9th century, I've been watching this like docu drama series, but based on historical fact, where it's called The Last Kingdom. It's basically about like how England reformed, and the big struggle was Christianity. And King Alfred, he was nicknamed God's King, and his struggles with the Danes, who were pagan, and just the pure craziness that came with it. You have pagans and Christians all living amongst each other. It's just crazy. I highly recommend the show. Hmm. Nanonite, would you like to call in, um, and talk about that? Because I've been actually listening to a lot of Graham Hancock lately. You guys know Graham Hancock? Amazing man. Um, and just before the show, I was watching his thing on the Torrid Media stream, I believe. And basically, that we go through the Torrid Media area, which isn't actually coming from Taurus, but from Earth that appears to be coming from Taurus. And we pass through there twice a year. Once at the end of June, beginning of July, and the other time being the end of October, beginning of November. And the peak times, one of the peak times is at the end of, and you'll notice anytime like a comet hits or something like that, it's usually either the end of June, beginning of July, or the other, end of October, beginning of November. In fact, there's also a lot of correlations between the Day of the Dead, or Halloween as we call it, and these meteors and things like that. Like, for instance, in 1906, what was the name of that big one? I think it happened in Siberia. Tuscunga, something like that. But that was a huge one. And then they're figuring out that in the Younger Dryas period, actually between the years 11,600 BC and 12,800 BC, that more and more scientists starting to sign off that a huge meteor hit. And that might be the meteor that was just found last month in Greenland. They found the crater. And that would explain a lot as far as the Americas and how they filled in with water. They thought it was just from glaciers, but now with this information, and there were people who were skeptical, such as Graham Hancock, because it seemed to have happened overnight. And they also found these woolly mammoths that died with food in their mouth and stomach, and they seemed almost to have their hips and legs broken at the same time. And it's like, wait, no, there was some type of cataclysm. Well, sure enough, now they're starting to come across, and they've been saying, we think a comet hit, we think a comet. Well, they just found the crater out by Greenland. They're not sure if that's the comet because they have to wait on the results, but they're thinking that that's going to be it because that would make sense and that would cause a lot of this, the glaciers to melt, forming the five finger gouges in New York State, along with like Great Lakes, all the way out down Mississippi River, I think Missouri River. It basically fills in that whole area down Montana. This all Lake Mizzou or something like that. This all would have been full with water back then. It's since dried out, but through geology, they were able to tell what the high point was, um, what the how quick it went up. It seemed like a tsunami actually also came. Now this isn't 100% accepted by the scientific community, but I find it fascinating. I find Graham Hancock fascinating. Period. Um, Not following you right there. So, red means stop. Blue pill got Matrix Mandela, and now we think red pill is for knowledge. I can see what you're saying if you're talking about the movie, how the red pill ended up really just kind of leading to a Matrix, and the blue pill, we don't know where it would have led, if that's what you mean. Um, but green pill diet says green pill diet. Green pill diet. Smoking weed? Is that what you mean? Now it's red. What was that shit? Voss that Trump mentioned? Oh yeah. 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 The Voss. That was remember? You guys hear that? Emergency alert. But they normally do these at this hour anyway. Hold on a second. My daughter's out there though. Imagine I had like an alert live. It went off. It went off. It went off. Oh, she woke up though. Oh man, she woke up. Alright guys, I'm gonna call it for the show. She woke up. Hey.
Hey lady.
I know.
How's your date going?
You want me to lay with you?
He did order by saying
Alright guys.
so that's pretty good.
Alright, so yeah, please guys, thumbs up.
I want to compliment you on something. You have this show
She might fall back
people
soon.
really enjoy called Hiking with Kevin. And I was the best.
Alright guys, so this is a good, I'm happy with this show, you know what I mean? A good way of, kind of re-entering. So, I just want to thank you guys, for all being here. And, you guys couldn't hear that? It was like the, emergency alert system, and it woke her up. It's just us now, otherwise I'd be like, oh. I just want to thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll be live again often. So thank you everybody. Shadow be with you. Good one. Good one. Because you're talking about how he thought he was tripping. Was that you that said that? You thought you were tripping because of the shadow? All right, guys. Yeah, it woke her up. Stupid. I hate that they do that in the middle of the night because she likes to have like a little bit of light. So I just pause the TV just so she has a little bit of a night light because she's gotten since it's been just us. She's gotten in the habit of not sleeping in her room, which sucks, but I kind of understand. But Sunshine State, hey, good to see you. And if anybody wants to donate, in the description, it won't be there right now, but once this uploads, it should be there by then. But regardless, just thumbs up, and really, it's just good to see you guys. And I think it was a good show. And yes, and it will be soon, Tony. All right, guys. Red pill dispensary. Thank you. I'll probably see you guys tomorrow night. All right. Good night.